New this morning, Comanche near Carlisle and northeast Albuquerque is all clear now after an accident earlier this morning. We are still waiting to learn more about what happened to the driver of a Jeep that crashed. It happened just after 2 this morning. Police haven't said what happened to the driver or if anyone was hurt. We'll keep you posted. A special group of students is planning a trip to Roswell to help students at Berendo Middle School cope with the trauma of last week's shooting.
They are from Colorado, where another school shooting happened at their school about a month ago. That was when the students at Arapahoe High School shot and killed Claire Davis. Right here, pretty young lady who was just 17 years old, then killed himself. And as you remember, last week, police say that young man, Mason Campbell, a 7th grader, brought a shotgun to Berendo Middle School and shot the 2 students whom you just saw, Nathaniel Tavares and Kendall Sanders. Now, David Courtney, the senior at Arapahoe in Colorado, is headed to Roswell with 22 other students.
I really wanted to be there and help them even more than I would have ever imagined.
The high schoolers are expected to meet with kids in Roswell and their families this Saturday. Both students hurt in that shooting in Roswell are still in the hospital this morning. A family member says Kendall Sanders here has had yet another surgery after she was shot in the shoulder and arm. And there is good news this morning for Nathaniel Tavares, who was shot in the face and the neck. We are told he is now breathing on his own.
The family of Nathaniel Tavares says they hold no grudges towards accused shooter Mason Campbell or his family.
We know that if he was able to speak for himself, he would also give his prayers to the individual that initiated this incident.
As we mentioned, Nathaniel Tavares was hit in the face and neck as well as the outer sac of his heart. Sources tell us the 2 boys did have a class together, but state police say they believe the shooting was random. Accused shooter Mason Campbell is still being treated and evaluated at a children's psychiatric hospital here in Albuquerque. A district attorney in Clovis will now determine if the current charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon will stick. That would be Clovis DA Matt Chandler. You see, the Roswell DA turned the case over to Chandler, citing a conflict of interest due to family ties to the victims and suspect. A missing persons case in Moriarty is now a homicide investigation after police find a body at a local motel. Moriarty police say 47-year-old Tammy Cessna was found dead Saturday at the Super 8 motel. There was evidence of trauma to her body, but police would not be specific. The woman went missing on Friday. The Office of the Medical Investigator will determine the exact cause of death. State police are working with Moriarty police on the case.
5:34, neighbors say it could have been a lot worse when a wild, drunk driver tore through their neighborhood. This happened yesterday afternoon, where police say this man, Jacob Jaramillo, flew through a curve on a street here in northeast Albuquerque, then plowed through yards and ran into a cinder block wall right there with his Jeep. At that point, his hood popped up, and neighbors say Jaramillo got out, slammed the hood shut, then got back behind the wheel. One of the neighbors followed the guy, called police, and saw the driver slam into parked cars near San Pedro and Montgomery.
He turned the corner as fast as he could, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has just happened. What a mess.
Now, without a doubt, investigators caught up with Jaramillo. They say he had a blood alcohol level of 0.14, which is almost 2 times the legal limit, and police say he admitted he'd been drinking. Well, a woman in Albuquerque is lucky to be alive this morning after their police pulled her from a burning car this weekend. They say she slammed into a pole here near Grant Middle School yesterday morning. It knocked her out and it sent her car up in flames. A sergeant and some officers rushed over to her. They reached inside the burning car and pulled that woman out and saved her.
They tried to put the fire out with a fire extinguisher, with fail because the car was so engulfed, and then they had no other choice but to pull her out and put themselves in jeopardy, and they removed her from the vehicle, and she actually was still on fire when they removed her.
Yeah, they basically saved her life. Now, police say they did smell alcohol on the woman. She is still in the hospital recovering this morning.
Another bizarre crash to tell you about. This one happened outside of an Albuquerque car dealership. Check this video out. An SUV crashed and landed on top of several cars that were for sale. This is video from Sunday morning at Garcia Automotive on Wyoming and Lomas. You can see the SUV hit the cars so hard, one flipped on its side. The vehicle then lands on top of another SUV, slamming it into the side of a truck. Police aren't saying how this happened, but they believe speed is a factor in the crash. Well, summer seems a long way off right now, but over the next couple of months, Students will find out whether they need to go to summer school.
And now the Albuquerque Public School District is changing what those kids are going to do in their summer classes. News 13's Samantha McDonald is here with all the details. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Matt. Well, for the first time, students who need extra help over the summer will not only review concepts covered during the regular school year, now they'll also be learning new concepts and get some hands-on experience. That's the new enrichment model for summer school students K through 8 district-wide. Up until now, many APS Summer School programs have traditionally used a remediation model for classes, meaning they go over what they learned during the school year. The experts say the change is necessary to help more students become proficient in math and reading, building their skills through social studies, health, and science studies, with frequent field trips and hands-on activities and things like gardening.
Makes those real life connections for students, and that's what students that struggle need. They need that time to just grow and practice and be able to be engaged in the activities.
Students will be meeting with counselors over the next month to see if they could benefit from these summer school classes. Matt, back to you.
Thank you for the update, Samantha. The district hasn't said exactly where summer school will be offered just yet. We'll keep you posted on that. College prep programs in 4 school districts in New Mexico are set to get more money this week. According to the Las Cruces Sun News, Governor Susana Martinez says Albuquerque, Carlsbad, Gadsden, and Hobbs will each get $100,000 in grant money from a foundation in Denver. Well, that cash will be used to start or expand programs that will help high school students get ready for college.